crime story.
The strange disappearance of 18-year-old Zebb Quinn. On January 2, 2000, Zebb Quinn completed his shift at Walmart and accompanied a co-worker to a nearby town, setting into motion a perplexing and enduring mystery. To this day, no one has laid eyes on him since. Fast forward 2 decades, and the police believe they've come remarkably close to unraveling the enigmatic vanishing of this young man. On that pivotal Sunday evening, at approximately 9 p.m., Quinn departed the Walmart premises in the company of a fellow store employee, Robert Owens. Their shared objective was to head to a neighboring town, where Zebb had mentioned a particular car of interest to Owens. Security footage from the Walmart parking lot captured the sight of Zebb and Robert strolling to their respective vehicles, sharing light-hearted banter along the way. Quinn got behind the wheel of his Mazda protege and trailed Owens' car, with the intention of reaching the neighboring town where the said car was located. However, during the journey towards the town, Quinn's behavior took a sharp turn towards the bazaar. He abruptly altered course, driving in the opposite direction, and mysteriously vanished without a single trace, leaving behind a series of peculiar clues that had both law enforcement and his family puzzled for an entire 2 decades. Now, let's delve into the intricate details of this extraordinary case. The disappearance of Zebb Quinn. Zebb Wayne Quinn, born on May 12, 1981, in Asheville, North Carolina, enjoyed a youthful and carefree existence. Those who knew him unanimously praised his rare kindness and boundless generosity. Concurrently, he harbored dreams of military service and held a sincere belief that he could contribute positively to society through such service. His aspirations led him to enlist in the Reserve Officers Training Corps with the unwavering determination to rise to the rank of an officer. In order to save up for a new car, Quinn secured a position as a sales associate in the electronics department at Walmart. It was there that he crossed paths with a 22-year-old colleague, Robert Owens, who eagerly shared with Zebb his plans to acquire a remarkable car that he believed Quinn must see. Thus, right after completing his shift at 9 p.m., Quinn rendezvoused with Owens in the store's parking lot, after which they each made their way to their respective vehicles. At 9:15 p.m., they were observed at a local store purchasing sodas, but thereafter, Quinn's whereabouts became an unsolvable mystery. The following day, his mother, Denise Vlahakis, reported him missing. 4 days later, on the afternoon of January 6th, Zebb's car was discovered in the parking lot of the Little Pig's barbecue restaurant, bearing some bizarre and perplexing clues, lips and an exclamation point painted in lipstick on the rear window, and a live puppy inside his Mazda. Inside the vehicle, alongside the black Labrador puppy, which would later find a home with one of the detectives, law enforcement uncovered several bottles of hard liquor, an unfamiliar jacket, and an unknown hotel's key card. Additionally, there were eyewitness accounts of a woman previously seen seated in the car's driver's seat, further deepening the intrigue surrounding this puzzling case. Notably, Quinn's vehicle was left in close proximity to the hospital where his mother held employment. Law enforcement created a composite sketch of the woman spotted driving the Mazda, and upon closer examination, it bore a striking resemblance to Misty Taylor, a figure linked, albeit rumoredly, to a romantic connection with Zebb. While Misty was officially dating a gentleman named Wesley Smith, their relationship was commonly described as toxic by those in the know. Yet, these enigmatic revelations were just the tip of the iceberg, as further perplexing clues awaited discovery by the police in the years that followed. Owens' strange testimony. As Robert Owens was the last person seen in the company of Quinn, the police were eager to speak with him, but their initial attempts proved unsuccessful. When they finally had the chance to meet with Robert, he recounted that shortly after leaving the convenience store at 9:15 p.m., Quinn began signaling him by flashing his headlights, suggesting he wanted to make a stop. As Owens decelerated and exited his vehicle, Quinn informed him that he had received an urgent message on his pager and needed to return the call immediately. It was evident to Owens that Quinn was in a state of agitation. Following his return to the store, where he used a payphone to make the call, Quinn appeared visibly upset, offering an apology for changing their plans and then rejoining his vehicle. If we consider all of the aforementioned details, it still leaves a perplexing puzzle. According to Owens, Quinn suddenly became so eager to turn around that he ended up colliding with the rear bumper of Robert's car before speeding away. However, what added an even more intriguing twist to the narrative was the fact that a mere few hours later, Owens found himself in the hospital with a head injury and several rib fractures, which he informed medical professionals he had sustained in a different car accident on the same evening. Interestingly, the police never uncovered any records or reports related to this supposed car accident that night. Detectives also uncovered that on January 4th, an individual identifying as Zebb Quinn had placed a call to Walmart, reporting that he was unwell. Patty King, the store's supervisor who answered the call, later informed the police that the voice on the other end of the line did not match Quinn's, adding yet another layer of intrigue to the ongoing investigation. Patty found this situation suspicious and decided to call back the incoming number, which led her to the local Volvo plant where, at the time, a part-time employee, Robert Owens, worked. Prompted by this discovery, the police promptly requested a second interview with Owens, during which he admitted to making the call, asserting that Quinn had asked him to do so well in advance of the described events. When questioned about why he had not disclosed this earlier, Robert cited that he had forgotten. Unsurprisingly, Quinn's family remained skeptical of Owens' claims. Although the police viewed Robert as a prime suspect, they refrained from filing charges hastily due to the existence of other potential suspects. They called me at work and said, "What did you do to him?" But I didn't know what they were talking about or what they wanted. Until the police locate him, dead or alive, everyone will assume I had some involvement, Owens disclosed in an interview with Spin magazine in 2001. Lacking concrete evidence against Owens, law enforcement shifted their focus to a pager message Quinn received on the night he disappeared. Upon investigating the message that had apparently deeply distressed Quinn, the police traced it back to his aunt, Ina Ustich, who purportedly sent it around 9:20 p.m. Specifically, the operator received the call from her residence. However, Ina refuted sending the text message and revealed that she was dining at the time at the home of her close friend, Tamra Taylor, who happened to be the mother of Misty Taylor, the individual with whom Quinn was romantically involved. A curious coincidence, wouldn't you agree? It's worth noting that Zebb had only met Misty, a 19-year-old, just 2 weeks prior to his disappearance, and a close friendship quickly developed between them, indicating potential romantic prospects. One of Quinn's friends later recalled, throughout that week, he couldn't stop talking about this girl. However, when word reached Misty's boyfriend that Zebb was making advances toward his girlfriend, he allegedly began issuing threats. A friend of Quinn's father explained in an interview with Spin magazine, "There was definitely tension between Quinn and Smith. To the best of my knowledge, Zebb not only received threats from Wesley, but also from his friends. They cautioned Quinn and insisted he keep his distance from this young lady." Returning to the topic of Ina Ustich, she also mentioned that she had witnessed Misty and Wesley at Tamra Taylor's residence, providing them with a credible alibi. However, a perplexing question arises. If Ina Ustich wasn't at home, how did Quinn receive a text message from her home phone? To further complicate matters, Ina Ustich later reported that on the evening of January 2nd, while she was visiting, unknown individuals broke into her house. Oddly, nothing was stolen, and the sole damage was a broken window, so she didn't immediately report the incident to the police. This statement by Ustich seemingly insinuated that Robert Owens had entered her residence to send a message to Quinn's pager, potentially to confuse the investigation. Nevertheless, this theory is implausible given that Owens was seen at the store around 9:15 p.m. While the message was sent at 9:20 p.m., it would have been physically impossible for Owens to reach the Ustich residence in the brief time frame. Wesley and Misty consistently denied any involvement in Quinn's disappearance, and with no substantial evidence against them, the investigation remained at a standstill. Case solved. A significant breakthrough in the case did not occur until 15 years later. On March 17, 2015, Robert Owens was apprehended for the brutal double murder of Christy Shawn Codd, a Food Network star beauty pageant contestant, and her husband. This time, the evidence against him appeared far more compelling. and he ultimately made a full confession. Owens disclosed that he had unintentionally struck them while driving and then endeavored to conceal their bodies. In 2017, he received a 60-year prison sentence with no possibility of parole. Concurrently, the police secured a search warrant for Owens' residence and property due to their lingering suspicions concerning Zebb Quinn's disappearance. During their investigation, detectives noted an abandoned artificial pond constructed in concrete. Subsequent examination beneath this pond revealed the presence of fabric, biological materials, and several large plastic bags filled with a substance dissolved through corrosive agents. Although the police report didn't explicitly state it, it appeared that Owens had hidden multiple bodies at the pond's bottom, completely dissolving them with an unknown chemical concoction. Presently, the identification of these remains an insurmountable challenge. Armed with this new evidence, Owens was charged with the murder of Zebb Quinn on July 10, 2017. However, as he was already incarcerated and unlikely to ever leave prison, the legal proceedings progressed at a glacial pace. It wasn't until 2020 that the case advanced to the trial stage, with no subsequent updates on its status. While most detectives harbor little doubt that Robert bears responsibility for Zebb's disappearance, the police remain far from untangling the intricate web of twists, turns, and perplexing clues that shroud Quinn's enigmatic vanishing. I hope you liked this story. Please don't forget to leave a comment sharing with your thoughts below. Give a thumbs up this video. And remember to hit that subscribe button to stay tuned for more captivating stories. Thank you for joining us on this remarkable journey, and we'll see you in the next video.